This is Dr. Pepper, the nectar of the gods. For many people, it's not just another soda. For me, it's the beverage of choice I grew up with. I spent the first 45 years of my life in the United States, and Dr. Pepper was always there. At family gatherings, on road trips, in any convenience store, at theaters and ballparks, Dr. Pepper's been a refreshing part of many of my best memories, and it's been my favorite soda for as long as I can remember. When I moved to Taiwan, I didn't expect to keep drinking Dr. Pepper, but I was happy to discover that I could, at least for a time. For the first several years, I worked directly with the distributor to import Dr. Pepper in steady supply. First from the United States, then later I upgraded to Japan, and finally to Korean Dr. Pepper. For 6 straight years, Dr. Pepper became easier and easier to find. By 2024, it felt like it was Dr. Pepper's biggest year yet in Taiwan. Not only was it regularly available at most major stores, but the Korean version, by far the most affordable option due to its proximity, was now being stocked by the caseload at Costco. So when all versions of Dr. Pepper vanished from store shelves in late 2024, I noticed immediately. It disappeared first from distributors' import lists, no longer available to order. Then Costco shelves began to go empty with no resupply in sight. There was no announcement, there was no recall, and there was simply no explanation. Dr. Pepper was just gone across all of Taiwan. Importers were the first to discover any problem. Shipments were being rejected at the border again and again. So the obvious questions began to present themselves. Was Dr. Pepper being banned? And why? And why now? Customs officials weren't citing contamination or labeling violations. Taiwan's Food and Drug Administration showed no recalls. There were no safety alerts, and there were no import prohibitions. But Customs had started asking for new documentation that they'd never asked for before. Documentation that importers and distributors could not provide. As far as the government was concerned, with regard to Dr. Pepper, nothing had changed. But obviously, something had changed. In late 2024, Taiwan began strictly applying beverage classification rules for imported sodas. Drinks resembling cola had to be classified under a specific category, and that category required proof that the beverage is a cola. Here's the problem. Dr. Pepper is not a cola. It doesn't contain cola nut extract. However, by Taiwan's stricter standards, it falls in this same category alongside Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola, both of which are, in fact, colas and are still readily available in Taiwan. So when Taiwan asked for documentation proving Dr. Pepper was a cola, no such documentation exists. With no acceptable classification path, every shipment has begun to fail inspection. American Dr. Pepper, Japanese Dr. Pepper, Korean Dr. Pepper, all are being rejected. To understand why there was no path to properly classify Dr. Pepper in Taiwan, I contacted Keurig Dr. Pepper, the company that owns the Dr. Pepper brand in the United States. I asked how they navigate this issue in other markets. Their response was enlightening, but not very helpful. Not because they weren't willing to help or were refusing to help, but because they legally could not help. As it turns out, Keurig Dr. Pepper only owns the distribution rights for Dr. Pepper in the Americas. To understand what was happening outside that region, they pointed me to their distribution partner. That partner is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper's primary competitor in most global markets, owns the distribution rights for Dr. Pepper in all markets outside of the Americas. When asked about the classification issues, Swire Coca-Cola Taiwan would only confirm that Dr. Pepper is no longer available in the Taiwan market, and that the documents required for import classification are internal only and cannot be shared. So on the surface, what this means is the only company capable of resolving this documentation issue has chosen not to do so. In effect, Dr. Pepper's availability in Taiwan depends entirely on a competitor's willingness to stand behind and support it. And for now, that support is not coming. So Dr. Pepper did not disappear because of a ban, nor for a recall, or for any new government restriction. Dr. Pepper vanished because corporate distribution rights collided with regulatory enforcement. For now, Dr. Pepper remains in limbo here in Taiwan. It's not gone. It's just locked out. And that will not change until someone greater than someone like me can compel Swire Coca-Cola Taiwan to change their stance on properly supporting Dr. Pepper. Until then, you can still occasionally find Dr. Pepper through individual sellers on reseller platforms like Shopee. These sellers are paying travelers returning from China or other regions to bring back small quantities of Dr. Pepper in their luggage. They then turn around and sell the cans at heavily marked up prices. It's not a great deal, but the option exists if you're really desperate for that Dr. Pepper fix here in Taiwan. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm Arkagas for Bai-Jia in Taiwan. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more content about life in Taiwan. And until next time, be safe.